we're going to be looking at today is going to feel more like English maybe, or like you're dealing with a foreign language than it's going to feel like math, because we're not doing any calculating. What we are doing today is we are switching between things being written as a math expression, so things that look like this, where all you see are variables, numbers, different signs, etc., or verbal expressions looks like this. Things that are written in just words, or just words and number symbols like this. So we're going to kind of go back and forth here. We're going to do some examples of going from things that look like words to things that look like math, and some examples of things that look like math. We're going to turn them into words. So this first one is m squared. So m is our variable. Squared means exponent 2. So we're just taking it from how we would say it out loud to how we would write the math shortcut. Next up, the sum of v and 10. The word sum means addition. If I am taking the sum of v and 10, I'm adding them together. So I can just write v plus 10. You could also switch the order since it is addition and write 10 plus v. That means the same exact thing, and that would be fine. Next up, we see the word product. Product means you are multiplying. The product of 3 and n means you are multiplying 3 and n together. You could do something like 3n, because we know whenever you have a number next to a variable, that means multiplying. If you'd like to include a times symbol, you can. You can use the dot, you can use the x, you can use parentheses, that's fine too. So some of these can be written lots of ways, and that's okay. Next one's a little tricky. Less than means subtraction, but less than is one of those phrases that turns our order around. X less than 19 means I have 19, but I'm taking x away from that. So you're going to switch the order of how you see things. I have 19, but I actually have x less than that, so I'm doing 19 minus x. For subtraction and division, it's important that you write things in the right order, because if you switch the order, you will not get the same answer like you do for addition or multiplying. A couple more. Next one, we are dealing with quotient. Quotient means you are dividing. Make sure you do things in the right order. The quotient of 96 and n means you are taking 96 and dividing it by n. Another way you could write that would be 96, this division sign, and then n as well. Don't flip the order or it won't mean the same thing. One more. The word difference. Difference also means subtraction. Unlike less than is kind of a little weirdo here. Difference just means simply you are doing first thing minus second thing. So 11 minus n is all we are looking for here. Now we're going to practice going the other direction. These all look like math. We're going to write them as a verbal expression. We can write them as words. A lot of times I think this is easier because just think about how you would say it out loud to someone. I would say this as n cubed. You could also say n to the third power. That's a lot of writing, but you could do that. That would work as well. Sometimes, you might see this on your homework, they will say a number, or a cube. Let me try that again. The cube of a number, because they're just not being very specific about the variable. They're saying this is some variable we are cubing in. Either of those would be perfectly fine. Next up, I'm going to give you some different options for this one. The way I would say that out loud would be 6 plus n. You could do, like we had over here, the sum of 6 and n. You could do 6 added to n, and anything like that would be fine. Again, multiple ways you can write these. As long as it makes sense grammatically and it conveys what we're trying to say here, you are good. Normally with this one out loud, I would just say 2y, but that's really a shortcut for 2 times y. Or you could be fancy and use that word product. Product of 2 and y. Or there's other ways you could say that too, but these are probably 2 pretty good ones. Next one, k minus 11. So you could say k minus 11. You could say 11 less than k. Remember, you have to go backwards for that one. You could say the difference of k and 11. Notice we switch the order when we say less than, but any other version of this, we have k first, then 11, like we see in the expression. Probably some other ways to say that too, but any one of these three things would be lovely. Last but not least, sometimes we say this out loud as x over 6, but over really isn't a very good math word. What that stands for is x divided by 6. You could also use the nice fancier word quotient and say the quotient of x and 6. Another option you do have for all of these is instead of writing the number 6, you could write 6 like S-I-X as a word, and that would be fine too. That should cover pretty much anything that you would run into, so you'll have some homework where you are doing some of the same thing. As always, I hope you have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions.